that's not used. Whatever you have, just start. Thanks, Chester. We're coming to you.
Okay. Hello, Annie.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm awesome.
That's great because I was just about to ask you, how are you feeling about this season of Shades of Brown?
I'm feeling pretty good, pretty hyped. Yeah, that's how I
Pretty
feel.
hype, pretty hype.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. I'm so happy to hear that. And what would you say is your most favorite quality about your character?
Um, I love the fact that she is, like, from season one to now, she has become more true to herself and to the things that she wants. Though it may not be in her best interest, at least she is more brave to step outside the white lines and act in a way that, works for her. May not always be the right decision, but I'm really proud that she's able to be more herself.
So would you say that you have a connection with the character in a way that you have one of those same traits, or do you share one of those traits? And how does it make you connect when you're acting?
Well, we're around the same age, so certain issues and the way how she deals with it, I think that we share the same, I would say, consciousness, like how we perceive things. So definitely that has aided me in portraying her. We're not very far apart in ideals. It's just we make very different decisions. I think I make better decisions in life,
Hmm.
but I think she's more true to her mistakes, and when she makes the mistakes, she faces repercussions of those mistakes. But I'm more safe. I'm like, if there's a snake, I'm not gonna trouble the snake. You know,
Oh yes,
she'll trouble the
Victoria.
snake.
Victoria is definitely the rebel of the show. Okay, so if you were to say Victoria is the rebel, how do you feel about Tyler and Victoria's relationship?
Complex, complex.
Oh.
I think they both share loss this season. Victoria shares a loss of a loved one, and so does Tyler. And they both have the arc of like grieving together. Though other stuff happened, but I see why they connected is because they both are grieving the loss of someone, and they're dealing with it in their own wild and crazy ways, and it somehow brings them closer together because they have a
Mm.
common enemy that I will not spoil.
Okay, well, that's so beautiful to know that they were there for each other in that capacity. Would you say that with their relationship, would you change anything that would have happened?
It's hard to answer these questions without giving away the show.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm trying to tease.
No. What would I change? I don't think I would change anything specifically because I think every person needs to be true to where they are in their journey. So I feel like what might work for me may not work for them, as in because they are different people. They perceive life very differently from me. So I'm not sure how I would change their character. I just wish maybe they might be a little bit nicer to one another, but that happens as they go along. But I still think they have a tendency to get on each other's nerves.
That's really beautiful, Annie. I really love that sentiment. Would you say that you had one of those all these beautiful stories that you have coming out of this show? Do you have a favorite memory on set?
Just in general, or
Yeah,
with
just in general. Maybe it's a blooper. Maybe it's one of those embarrassing moments.
lots of those. A favorite onset memory. Well, the first one that's coming to mind, me and Ken, we did the scene on the seawalls, and it's one of my favorite scenes of the show because as a director, it was one of the times I was like, oh my gosh, this could actually work. So that was like, it was a really nice moment because like how the characters connected and how the conversation flowed. It was so natural and so cool. And when I edited it, it also seemed so natural, so cool, and it made me so excited. So the feeling I had on the day when we were shooting that it could actually work, and then when I went and I edited, it actually looked really cool. So I would say that's my favorite onset memory for now. The rest of y'all, don't feel bad. I love y'all too.
Honestly, that's awesome to hear. So I was hearing a lot about directing. I was hearing a lot about editing. Is Annie a one-woman show, and how does she do it all?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm just really passionate. I really like the art of filmmaking. It's a very collaborative thing. I'm one of those, the more the merrier. The more people that are involved, I'm happy to collaborate with anybody. But, life happens, and sometimes you need to be a one-woman show. And I think I had to learn how to do every aspect of the show, whether it be cinematography, videography, editing, all the other parts, costume. Just a plug, like I really like what I did with some characters in their costume. I tried my best to tell a story with it. But yeah, I just had to do my best because I really wanted the show to look a certain way and for certain things to come out, and for like I want, like, on the second watch of the show you see things that you didn't get to see. I love putting in little Easter eggs that people don't really see. They won't see it at the first. They won't see it at the first jump. Hi, everybody. That's my cat Chester. Yeah. So.
Chester once a part of the.
Yeah, Chester actually is a part of the show. You'll see him pop up sometime.
He's his own star. That's beautiful.
Or she. Sorry. We'll get into that another time. But I think I had to learn how to do everything so that the show could keep moving regardless of what happens.
That's absolutely inspirational. And coming from a creative background, what chunk of advice would you give to that younger generation looking to do something similar or start in a place? Because not always do we have a place to start, and not always do we know how to start. So what would that advice be to the younger generation wanting to do the same thing?
I just advise them to start. Just pick up your phone, if you have a camera that's not used, whatever you have, just start. Thanks, Chester, we're coming to you. Whatever you have, just start. Whatever you're doing, something's gonna work out. Especially if you have faith, and you believe in God and what He's called you to do. I really believe that if you do those things, you'll be able to push past whatever obstacles that you have, because there are going to be obstacles. There are going to be people who telling you that you can't do it and that's impossible and that it hasn't been done before. And then when you listen to those voices, you end up sabotaging yourself. So I would say just pick up whatever you have and just do it, and just walk and go, and somehow along the line things are going to work out. Somehow. I don't know.
Wise words coming from the one woman show, Annie. That's beautiful. So Shades of Brown is now, will be out 2025 January. What would you give? What's that one thing that you would give to the audience to say, hey, let's look at this. Let's see what it's like. What would you say that it brings to the table?
Authenticity. It really, well, at least what I try to do with the show is to tell these really real, raw stories, and to have different people in this country see themselves, which is so important, because for so long we've only had comedies, which is a good thing, because people need to laugh, but we also need to have stories that represent where we come from, our background, what makes us Guyanese. And we're not just people who love to laugh. We need to deal with certain traumas, certain stories that, people not everybody has, a therapist or can afford therapy. So to have stories that they can relate to, maybe to start a conversation with somebody, to heal something, like just to feel seen and to be able to relate, I think is so important. And to see yourself on screen, being represented, because that's something that's very close to my heart. Being who I am and looking how I look, and I just wanted to have something for other people who look like me, who may not have that kind of representation, and not just representation for myself, but for every type of Guyanese person. That's really the goal, to have authentic stories that people could see themselves, and they could also have something that they can relate to.
Okay, yes, representation is definitely important.
Yes.
where can we stream, where can we see Shades of Brown?
You can see Shades of Brown on Anniemated Productions on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, that's where you can see it.
Okay, thank you, Annie, for spending time with us today. Thank you for giving your piece. Thank you for sharing your story. And everyone, go and stream Shades of Brown January 2025. Thank you.